Hey everybody, Shavvo here, and I'm going to bring you a 1 versus 1 match. This is going to be on the map. Zelnaya Cavern's going to be against myself. I'm the blue Zerg spawning up here at the top against Debonair. Ooh la la. The red Protoss at the bottom. Now, the reason I chose this game is because I kind of wanted to feature just like more of my build order and everything, because I've been getting a few requests asking me to actually, what's your build order? What are you doing? How do you do that? And so on. So a little bit of lag, of course, and I am doing that harvester trick that StarCraft showed. If you want me to show you that, I will be happy to, or you can just go to StarCraft's channel and check that out, because he's pretty darn awesome. So anyway, build 9 drones, and then I go ahead and I build a overlord as well, and then after the overlord is built, I'll build another drone. And then by the time the overlord pops, you should have about 100 minerals or so, and you can build another 2 drones, and then you get 14, or you get 12, then you get 13, and then on the 14th drone is when you actually start doing something. And Debonair is over here, and he's throwing down a pylon. So he's not really doing too much, throwing down a gateway, so it's pretty standard play by both of us so far. And on the 14th drone, I'll go ahead and I'll throw down an extractor, and then I will make another drone to actually replace the drone that I just wasted, or not wasted, but I just killed to make the extractor. And then once I get another 50 or 200 minerals, I'll go ahead and make a spawning pool. And then once the extractor pops, of course you start getting as many, or you start putting three probes or drones on the extractor, and then you just continue to make up drones until you get to 15, and then on the 15th drone you save up enough to get another overlord, and then you throw out an overlord. And let's check on Debonair, and I'm just doing a little bit of harassment over here, doing a gas trick over here, and Debonair is throwing down a cybernetic score and also an assimilator. So I'm just kind of canceling that so I can keep him around and check him out. So now that the spawning pool is popped, you should have enough to research metabolic boost and also make a queen at the same time, and that's exactly what I've got here. And then you go about 20 supply, and once you hit 20 supply, at least this is how I do it, you start to expand. So I've got a couple of Zerglings out here just trying to chase off this probe, because I don't want them to see what's going on or anything like that. So I've got about 20 supply, and here comes my drone, and I'm going to go ahead and throw down the expansion. And there it goes. So throw down the expansion right around 20 supply. Of course, remake the drone so you don't lose any kind of macro or any kind of hardcore macro or anything like that. And I've got my Zergling over here just chasing this probe all the way back home. And Debonair is just trying to kill this extractor, and I am just being a pain in the butt, recreating it as often as possible, so I will be able to continue to steal that gas. Throwing down a Rotorn, as I did see that he had a couple of gates in the front here, so I was assuming that he was probably going to do a rush of some sort, a heavy gateway push. Let's take the income tab. Income-wise, he is ahead of me a little bit, 16 to 19, but that's okay, because you lose drones and whatnot whenever you do build a structure or anything like that. So I got another gas, because I didn't want to be low on gas, I guess, and I was planning to go heavy roaches. So you want a little bit of gas for that, and I was going to transition into mutas after I got the roaches and whatnot. So my hatchery has just now completed, and I've got a fair amount of units to actually defend the hatchery, because that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is when you expand a little too early, in my opinion, and then you don't have anything to defend it. So that's why I've got these Zerglings over here, and with a proper amount of micro, you can take out a fairly good zealot push, and you can also bring a queen out here just in case. So I've got 2 roaches and about 8 or so Zerglings, so that's not too bad. And I've got my expansion up, and we're about I don't know how long it's been, but it's been about, you know, around the 5-minute mark or so, or just pretty much 20 supplies when I threw it down. And now I'm just starting to saturate the expansion. And I'm waiting on an overlord right now because I was stupid and I did not look at my supplies. So you always want to make overlords. Let that be a lesson to you. Always make overlords. And now I am sending out a scouting Zergling just to see what's going on, see what he's got. Throwing down a spine crawler just for a little bit of added defense. And he looks like he is researching Blink. So I've got my Zergling over here checking for expansions, of course. Coming in, seeing the double gate wall here, along with quite a few zealots. So I know he's going heavy zealot, so I'm going to start making a few more roaches. But actually I was droning up pretty hard during that time because I knew he wasn't pushing out, he was just kind of hovering in his base, so that gave me a little bit of confidence to know that I can drone up right now. It's pretty safe, he's not pushing out right now, and I'll throw a couple of spines down just in case. And I will just continue to drone up. And I haven't injected on my queen yet because she does not have enough energy because I threw down this creep tumor over here, but as soon as she has enough energy, I'm going to throw up on the hatchery and go ahead and throwing down a lair. I've got a fairly decent amount of units right now, and if need be I can always pull back to my spine crawlers, but I knew that he wasn't pushing out anytime soon, so I just kept on droning up. So now I'm fairly even as far as him, and the drone count, or the harvester count, 27 to 28. So that's not too bad. So the economy is pretty good, pretty decent. The difference is that I have my drones separated a little bit more, so I'm going to get a little bit better economy in there because all of his probes are just kind of running around here, seeing if they can find, that one sweet spot, or that one sweet mineral spot, so they don't have to, fight for it. Lair is almost completed now, and I'm just continuing to spread the creep around here. What does the unit production look like? Making another creep tumor. He is upgrading ground level 1. Now he's throwing down the expansion over here, so he's not going to be pushing out anytime soon, as he has just now decided to throw down his expansion. And I am breaking down these rocks so I can throw down a second expansion, getting a spire as well. Where's that spire? Where's the spire? There's the spire. Getting a spire as well. He's got his Twilight Council over here, and he is continuing to, I guess, research the ground level 1. Just building up his expansion now. I'm getting the pneumatized carapace, sending out a Zergling to do a little bit more scouting, just to kind of see what's going on, check it out. And here we go, I'm going to see the expansion. So I know that he just got his expansion up right now, so he is not going to be pushing out anytime soon, although he should if he's smart. And I am throwing down the second expansion right now. Just droning up a little bit more. So the drone count is about 43 to 29, so that's fairly good for me. You always want to keep your drones up, keep your macro up so you can get that good amount of income. And you can see that the income for me is a little bit higher than it is for him, and that's simply because I do have more drones mining, more areas. Getting a good creep spread out here. Throwing down another creep tumor with my queen just to kind of spread it along this side so they can kind of conjoin over here. So we got that good speed bonus and whatnot. A little oversaturated here. That's okay though. I think I do a transfer. And what are you doing, queen? Better start throwing up. Now his army looks pretty decent. So if you were to push out, I'd have a pretty difficult time against this. But look at this, I've got 11 Mutalisks coming in right now. So because of my macro, I'm able to produce a very good amount of units very quickly. And I was playing, because I know he's going to push out, I just didn't know when, and I did actually see this. I saw the tail end of these guys. I'll show you here. So I saw the tail end, or the front end of his forces right here. So I know that he's planning to push out soon, and that tells me I got to get my Mutalisk and I got to move him down. you know, I've got to move him down over here so I can do some harassment while he's fighting over here, and I'm just continuing to make, you know, whatever units I can. And if need be, like I said, you always have these 2 spine crawlers back here, so you can pull back to them if you absolutely need to, and that's exactly what I'm doing, because I know that he has a bigger force than I do, so I'm going to pull back. And while he's attacking over here, I'm actually going to pull or push in with these Mutalisks. So here comes the first engagement right now, and he pulled back. He's got his observer over here, he's killing my creep tumor, he's a jerk. So I'm pushing in with my Mulist and forcing him to pull back because he has nothing to defend with, and I'm just going to go straight for the mineral line, straight for his probes, and do whatever I can as far as harassment there. And that gives me time to further build up in my base. You know, I got a couple more, 5 more roaches coming in, and he is so far away from his main base that he pretty much has nothing to defend against, and I'm able to take out most of his probes, and that brings him down to 10 harvesters to 54 right now. So he is hurting extremely bad from that harassment, so that was a very good harassment for me. And I'm continuing to just make as many units as I possibly can. And I'm starting to saturate this expansion over here as well, throwing down a couple more extractors. And I'm continuing just to do a little bit more harassment, although I probably should have just gone back for this, as I knew that he was pushing back out, so probably should have gone back for that. Oh well. The cops there have been pretty sick for the past couple of days, and that sucks. So he sees my army here, and I see his. And we do the second engagement over here. He's getting a good forceful placement, separating my roaches, and that's going to give him very good placement. He's also throwing up the Guardian Shield, so my shots are not going to do as much damage as his. So I'm forced to pull back, and he still has yet to make any more probes, so that's one of the detriments for him that he actually made a mistake on. He should have continued to start building probes as soon as my Mutalist came in there. And he is running on a very low economy. He's pushing out, but I'm flanking him with my Mutalists. And I'm just continuing to make the roaches endure me over here. I'm trying to get a flank on him with my roaches, and I'm taking out a fairly good amount of his units. Even got my queen in here in the action, pulling her back, trying to get her on the creep, turning on the creep turner, and I'm just getting a pretty decent surround. And this kind of pissed me off right here, is that I failed to actually tell him to attack, so I had him just move around. And that actually was a pretty big blunder by myself, because I shouldn't have done that, and that caused a lot of them to actually die needlessly when they shouldn't have. So I'm on the back foot right now. It's a little bit difficult for me to get this right now, but I got 8 Mulas, 5 or 6 roaches right now, and I don't know why I continue to make Mulas with all those